Hey guys, Marsling in here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking another look at everybody's favourite unit, LR Ultimate Gohan. I made a tier list yesterday talking about the top LRs on Global, and a lot of people were not particularly happy with how high I placed Gohan on that list. So I wanted to make this video. In fact, somebody actually commented in the post that I put on Twitter, where I actually posted the video, asking if I could do a video re-showcasing him, basically just to kind of explain why I thought he deserved the place that he got on my tier list. So you should check that list out if you haven't seen it. I did put him at number 4, below Bulma, Piccolo, and then Vegeta and Trunks, and just above Cooler and Tech Carnival Goku. I feel like he has gotten significantly better with a lot of the units that have released recently, and one of the biggest arguments that I see people make for why he is bad, which I feel like I could kind of have agreed with when he first came out, was that you have to build the team around him for him to be good. And I think a lot of the releases that have come out in the game recently are units that you would run on the team just because they are good, but they also help Gohan. So if you kind of see what I'm getting at, you're not running them specifically because, like, oh, I have to run this unit on the team because then they'll make Gohan look better. They're units like Bulma, who is unironically like the best unit in the game at the moment, especially on Global, right, where you don't have the 8th anniversary LRs to be part of the argument. So, like, she is a unit that, because she provides off-rotation support, she is incredibly good for buffing Gohan. I'm going to deliberately not get a double super with her here, because if I don't kill him this turn, it ensures that this Tech Goku in the middle is able to take some hits, which is what I want. So we'll do this, and then I can get 7 orbs, leave all these physical orbs here as well. Perfect. Now, obviously, Gohan, there are some, like, strategies to playing with him to make him better. Like there, for example, if we don't kill Broly this turn, I've saved a huge amount of physical orbs for him to pick up to guarantee that he gets his key. Because he does have key issues, or has had key issues in the past, right? Because he only has one key link, which is not a commonly shared link among a lot of, like, hybrid and pure Saiyans. But we are seeing a lot of these units come out that are either providing key support, like Bulma, or orb changing, like Bulma, and the physical Kid Goku. I feel like with the release of Tech World Tournament Goku and some of the buffs that DB Saga has gotten with, like, the free-to-play support units and stuff like that, that this physical Kid Goku has just become such an incredibly valuable unit. And he's one of LR Gohan's best link partners, and he orb changes, which means it helps him to pick up ki. So, now I will say, and I talked about this in the actual tier list itself, the biggest flaw with Gohan's design is that when you get to 20 ki, he has a great chance of performing an additional super, and it isn't guaranteed, right? So, there are LRs that released before him that get a guaranteed extra super at 20 ki. And the reason why this is an issue for Gohan, of course, is the fact that he builds up his passive, attack and defense 30%, with each super attack performed up to 150. So he needs to super 5 times to be fully built up. And obviously if you fail that 70% chance when you get to 20 ki, then obviously he only gets 1 super. If you don't get the hidden potential super, then yeah, you just get 1 super per turn. And that means it's going to take a while to build up. And that is admittedly like a flaw, right? If they made the attack and defense 30% with each attack performed, or they made the super guaranteed at 20 ki, then he would be considerably better, and I don't deny that. But he certainly is still very good. We got the extra super on turn 1. It wasn't his best possible turn because we didn't get the hidden potential super, and as you can see on turn 2 we have support from Piccolo, and then we have the links that we have active with Goku, which do include All in the Family, obviously very strong defensive link, but he's already rocking 530k defense, and he still has guard because it's his second appearance, right? He has guard for 3 turns, just like the LR Piccolo, so as long as you're not floating them off on their first turn, they have guard for their first 2 appearances. Oh, and there you go, you know, just casually dropping a 14 million attack stat on his second turn, and because we picked up enough orbs to get him to 24 ki, he was effective against all types as well. So I mean, Broly was going to die anyway, but because we didn't crit, even though we're at type disadvantage, we still did over 7.5 million damage to him. So I definitely feel like he's in a much, much better place than he was before. Should I keep you on rotation? I guess I could float Piccolo. Yeah, let's float Piccolo. We'll put Bulma in slot 1. Let's grab these. And again, this is like, you might say that, oh, you know, you have to do this to, like, make Gohan look good. But, like, I can play by trying to reserve these orbs for him if I want to. Although, I guess we've actually got too many physical orbs now. Let me grab... And that's the thing, I don't want to do the showcase. I don't want to hinder other units to make him look good. So, let me get the orbs with Piccolo, get his full 24 key super. And then we'll see how Kid Goku with his orb changing on the next turn helps out Gohan. Because I think... Is Kid Goku coming back onto rotation? I think he is. So, Bulma just casually tanking Tech Broly in slot 1 for 87k. Mine has 2 dupes. She only shares, what, like... Fierce Battle and then the those DB Saga links with the Tech Goku, so pretty good for her. Like I say, undeniably I feel, well, I say that Piccolo and her are like super close. I said this in my tier list anyway, right? If you want to put Piccolo at number 1 and Bulma at number 2, I probably wouldn't argue too much. Like, they both bring so much to the table. Bulma's, the thing that I feel that could tip Bulma over the top is the support, especially because it works off rotation, and then the arguments for Piccolo that could push him over the top is things like the giant transformation and the way that works in the game now, where it like cancels out the enemy super attacks. And of course, once we get the 8th anniversary Sin boss, one of the things that makes him so difficult for a lot of units is that he has those AoE attacks. And units that need to attack first to get their defense get absolutely shredded by him. Whereas if you use a giant transformation, once the turn ends and you go back to normal, they can't do any AoEs. So, alright, so let's see what we got here. So let's do... I obviously want to get another super with Gohan, so I'm going to have to put him in slot 1. But I mean, you can see with a rainbow orb changer, it's not super difficult for us to pick up 6 orbs. And because he does get extra key per orb, that's giving us, what, 21 key? And this is obviously with the support from Bulma. And this is what I'm saying about these other units helping him out, right? Like, if we weren't getting the off-rotation support from Bulma, we don't have any key supporters on this rotation. So we would have missed the 20 key. And that's why, when he first came out, I put him much lower on my tier list. But these units that are coming out, that are giving him all of these buffs and support, it's kind of what I said earlier on. It all comes down to, these are units that I would run on these teams, regardless of whether I was running Gohan or not, because they are so good. And they just also happen to help out Gohan pretty significantly. So, I think what we want to do here, I'm going to probably have to just item, because Broly is always annoying in these phases. I can't get 7 orbs for Bulma as well, which is a shame, because I obviously would like to get through this stage as quickly as possible. But, I mean, as long as Goku guards, Goku has 697k defense, so we wouldn't actually take that much damage on this rotation anyway. But I feel like we'd probably have to use an item in case Goku doesn't guard. I think 1 Whis is probably enough. And then, of course, another really big advantage for Gohan is that he can negate Ki Blast super attacks. So Broly, who can still be considered the hardest Red Zone boss on Global, it pretty much comes down to Broly or Metal Cooler Core, right? And I still maintain that Broly is the hardest because he disables dodge. Like, there are teams that you could bring against the Metal Cooler Core that with the right RNG, like, you could even call those teams bad, but with the right RNG, you could beat him because you consistently dodge like his super attacks and stuff. But that team, if you then brought it against Broly, you'd just get absolutely destroyed because you can't dodge. So the fact that he can't dodge, he has an AoE that hits every single person on the turn. Like, there's nothing you can do about it, right? So if you have one unit that's a liability and then he supers in slot 1, it's a case of use an item or die. So yeah, I think Broly is significantly harder than the Metal Cooler Core. And yeah, Gohan can negate any damage from the AoE super and the super in the final phase as well, which I feel like is a pretty important ability. So I do want to float off. I kind of want to keep them together so we can get legendary power. So Gohan's up to 500k defense here. We're still what? How many times has he supered? We still need at least one more, because unfortunately we do keep getting into that situation where he's killing the boss with like his first super, which is unfortunate, but it does happen. So I mean, if we don't need him to get extra key, I guess I could put Goku in slot 1. I mean, because we have the Whis active, Goku is taking no damage from anything, regardless of whether he, like, even if he's not guarding, he's not taking damage from the normal attacks. So we might as well put you in slot 1, and then put you in the middle, so you get legendary power active. We obviously still have the ability to negate the super. Now, if I was going for just, like, I just want to win, then obviously I would probably... Would I use the Orange Piccolo, actually? I feel like this rotation I don't really need to. Because Goku getting hit a bunch of times here, getting his defense up, even though he's not guarding, with the Whis, he should take basically nothing from the AoE anyway. So, yeah, I guess he wouldn't need to use the Orange Piccolo transformation here. But I'm not going to use it anyway, because obviously the whole point is that we want to see Gohan in action. So, oh, look at that. Goku gets the nullification as well. Let's go. 0. Then Gohan, nope, 0. And then Orange Piccolo at the end just takes double-digit damage, like the Chad he is. So, there you go. 14 million for Gohan, effective against all types, so obviously very useful in this phase. There's a nice crit for 9.4 mil, okay. And then we don't get the additional from the passive, but we get the additional from the hidden potential coming in. So, I think that makes him fully built up now. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll check his numbers when we get into the next turn. The only thing that is going to be potentially tricky here is that my Kid Goku's only 55%, so there is the possibility that he gets absolutely destroyed by a super attack. Now, if I'd thought ahead, I could have floated Bulma off. The problem is, if I float her off now, we're not going to get her back until turn 11, because it would have been quite interesting to see how crazy Gohan would look on the turn with her support and her active skill. And then we could see how much damage we could get out of the special beam cannon. That would have been pretty cool. But I think what we will do here instead... Now I have to think about this carefully, because if I use Bulma's active skill, this is the one problem with doing the orb changing with Bulma, is I want to float off Kid Goku, but if I change all the orbs on the field and pick them up with Bulma, there is a possibility that I then can't get 7 orbs for Kid Goku. So, but we're going to take that risk. We'll see what happens. If I can't get 7 orbs with him, I think I might pop the Whis that we have left. Yeah, it looks like I'm probably not going to be able to. Okay, yeah, that is unfortunate. Alright, well, we'll pop the other Whis just to protect Kid Goku. If we get 5 orbs, we do get the extra buff for him, so... Hopefully he doesn't eat a super. Yeah, I'm fine with Bulma taking the super here. Even though it's before her attacking with the Whis, she should take double digits because she's still guarding and she's got damage reduction. Yeah, double digit damage. I mean, we got the Whis up, but 12.5. Again, remember, this isn't a Bulma showcase, but 12.5 million on her active skill turn when she's got like 3 links active. She is getting support from Kid Goku as well, to be fair, but... yeah, she is very, very good. I said this in all of her videos we did as well, but like if you're a global player and you manage to pull her, I mean this happens for global kind of all the time, where we pull units that come out before the anniversary, that came out after the anniversary for JP, but like if you pull the anniversary LRs and you have Bulma, that team is just going to absolutely run through the difficult events from the anniversary, so... He hasn't supered again, has he? Is he going to super Kid Goku? There's 3 attacks in the final slot. Is he going to super me? He did not. Okay, cool. Alright, we take those. Alright, so let's go ahead and use our special beam cannon here. Let me make sure we actually get the animation on. Now, this is something that I should have talked about as well already, but... I do feel like, and this, I'm not going to dismiss everybody that doesn't like him, because I know it's not everybody, but there are a significant number of people out there, whether they will admit it or not, although I have seen some people just straight up proudly admit it, which I think is a very weird argument to make. There are some people that don't like this Gohan solely because he is not a playable Beast Gohan. And I can see, like, yeah, it was disappointing that he's not a playable Beast Gohan, but... I don't feel like that doesn't make the unit worse, right? The unit performs how the unit performs. And I do think that the active skill is probably one of the coolest and best looking ones in the game, because it perfectly captures Beast Gohan from the movie. Now, obviously, they've given characters attacks that they didn't do so they can have extra animations before, but you gotta remember, Beast Gohan doesn't really do anything. So the active skill perfectly captures him. The transformation, I just think, looks super good. I was, when I first saw it, a bit put off by just how big the hair was, but now the more I see it, and especially after playing in Xenoverse and getting the beast form for the created character, it has kind of grown on me a little bit. I definitely would like to see him appear again in more things, so we can actually have more source material for him. But yeah, hit the special beam cannon. Now, obviously, we don't get a guaranteed crit. 7.4 mil. A lot of people will not be happy with that kind of damage. But one of the things about his active skill is not only is it effective against all types, but we also trigger all of the abilities that he has for that turn. So what I mean by that is, even if we don't get the 20 or the 24 key, he's effective against all types and getting the chance to do the extra super, even though we didn't get the even if we don't get the orbs, which it looks like we're not going to be able to. So obviously he's going to have his bad turns, you know, I can't deny there will be turns where you can't get to 20 key, but I feel like this is a perfect example, right? This is the only turn where we didn't get 20 key with him, and it's the turn where we use the active skill, so we don't actually need to get 20 key with him because we get that chance to do the additional super attack anyway. So yeah, 15.2 mil. And the thing is, I wanted to show this is a very realistic team build for him, and these are the kind of numbers that he's putting out. Now imagine I could build this team with units that are only there to boost him and make him look better, and then obviously he would be putting out even higher numbers than this. So let's see, what do we take from this? Because we could have negated this, but we didn't. So there is a distinct possibility that this does a ridiculous amount of damage. Well, actually, no, we have the Whis active, don't we? I should have double-checked his defense at the start of the turn. But that is obviously, you know, when it comes to units that negate, especially when it's like, his is what, high chance? So it is kind of a coin flip. It's very typical, of course. I feel like he's performed very well in this video. And then the super that he takes from AGL Broly, he doesn't negate it. But obviously, again, in this instance, I did have the Whis active, which I wonder what would have happened if we didn't have it up, because I only used it to protect Kid Goku on the previous turn. If I hadn't used it on the previous turn, I wouldn't have used it on this turn. So I wonder how that would have played out. But anyway, so we'll do this. Just yet another run where we don't get the chance to get the revival with this World Tournament Goku. His revival condition being so bad, I think, is quite unfortunate. I feel like I say, the GT LR for the anniversary coming out make him significantly better. I also forgot that we're now at the point where Bulma doesn't have guard. So, bit of damage for her in slot 1 here, but we did get 7 orbs, so she is going to double super. And this is what her... This is her. She was on turn 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is her 5th appearance. So she has, what, like 35% damage reduction? So she actually might die if she gets super attacked here. But I feel like we got what we needed to see out of this video for Gohan, right? You might watch this and think like, oh, okay, well, you know, he looked pretty good in this video, but I still don't think he is number 4 overall, which is where I put him in that tier list. And that's fair enough, right? I said in the tier list video itself that if you want to move units up a space, I probably wouldn't, up or down 1 space, I probably wouldn't have any arguments whatsoever. And if you wanted to move them up or down even 2 or 3 places, I could probably see arguments for it. But at the end of the day, I do think, and some people in the comments said they didn't think he was even at that point, I think saying he's not a top 10 LR, especially on global, now when all the anniversary LRs come out, he would absolutely drop down that list. I think the 2 main Dokkan Fest exclusive LRs, the Easy A's for the 5th year LRs, and potentially, well, maybe not both the Part 2 LRs, the AGL Goku maybe, but I haven't had enough chance to use him myself. All of those units get released and then come into the tier list above him. So I think that's something you have to bear in mind as well. He was only that high on the tier list that I made because it was global only. So Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. Like I say, this wasn't like a crazy showing making him look like the best unit in the game, but I could build the team more around him to make him look even better than he did in this run. So I think that he definitely looked pretty good. If you still think he's terrible, let me know why down below, but give me some actual good reasons, and try not to make any that were directly refuted by how he performed in this video. Because again, the number of people that said you need to build the team around him for him to even get 20 key, we didn't miss 20 key. We missed 20 key once in this whole video, and I did not build the team around him. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.